So the very first thing you're going to need to do is get your picture. So you can see here I've got my little Baby Yoda mug and my keyboard, my gaming keyboard. And what I did is I took a picture of the regular keyboard, and then you can see here I've got my little clay figure all the way through. This is quite a few pictures. I probably don't need this many, but why not? So I'm going to select them all. I hold shift and select them all, or you can download them one at a time. It's up to you. Right click, download, and it's going to go to zipping the files, preparing the download. If it doesn't zip them, then they're just in your downloads. So I'm going to open it up. And all of these pictures I'm going to bring to my desktop right now, but you put them where you, in your folder, in your pictures, okay? Hopefully that put them all in there, but let me see. Nope. My mouse is wonky. Come on. Yeah, it only did one. Okay. So we can see, yes, they're all on my desktop and they're labeled 1, the 2, the 4. Okay. So now I'm going to go to my Photoshop. I'm going to create new. And you can choose what size you want for this, 8 by 10, 9 by 12, whatever you prefer, but usually 8 by 10. So I'm going to do, my width is horizontal, so I'm going to do 10 by 8. You reverse that, of course, if it's vertical, depending on your movement photography. Create. And I'm going to file, place linked, the first background picture. No, I don't want to do downloads. I want to go to my desktop. So here we go. If it helps ahead of time, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like relabel them. And then basically, resize it so that it fits what you're doing. And then after this, I'm going to just continually place the others in, but I don't want to place them in the same one. So what I'm going to do is File, Open, which normally we don't do File Open, but this time because all I'm going to do is get my little guy and bring him and drag him over. Now I can. So there's 2 ways of doing this. You could erase all the background, and that would take you forever. You can lasso around very carefully and carefully get your guy, but that is a pain in the butt. What I would suggest is the 4th one down using the quick selection. Magic Wand is similar, but quick selection is easier. You have more control. So the positive, if you click and drag, it basically will grab whatever it is. Like if I want a Baby Yoda, I click and drag. If I don't want this little negative space in here, I go to the negative and I get rid of it. And then I have him selected. So of course, I'm going to do this. And no, I don't want Baby Yoda anymore. So get rid of that. You can make the circle, the selection area, bigger or smaller easily right there with that 11 point. Totally up to you. But I've got it selected now, so I'm going to take my move tool here and I'm ready to drag them out. But you might notice if yours doesn't work, you might have to get rid of your background, the lock screen, but it seems to work now. Sometimes they make changes, and this is a happy change. So I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to hold him nice and tight. So if you don't have a mouse, you might have a hard time with this on your keyboard, but do the best you can. So I've changed the size of this. So you're going to have to drag him and make him smaller at the corner. And even if I want, I could have him coming over on the side like he's climbing up. And I can change these anytime afterwards because they're all going to be on their own individual layer. So let me just do this each time. No, I'm not going to save it. So File, Open. I'm going to repeat each time very quickly. My little guy, he hoisted himself up there. Oh, it was already on the negative. And then I'm going to grab my move tool, drag him, hold, 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 let go when he's down in here. So you can see I'm going to need to put some shadows underneath. of each of these, but I want to do that at the end and not one at a time. So X, file, open again. I'm not going to do all of them because, you know, that'd be a little bit much. Okay, here we go. He stood up. Yay, he's alive. If I decide like this is too big, you know, you can adjust it smaller. It's no big deal. Okay, and then let's grab my other ones. File, open. He's walking. So whatever yours is doing, if it's a ball falling down the stairs, if it's your sister doing a cartwheel, if it's you running, or, you know, whatever the case might be, then you can see how I got a little bit of that. You could always take and get rid of it with a hit delete after you get that. Okay. Go back. Maybe two more real quick. Open. Okay, so basically rinse and repeat. And once this is done, I'm going to put some shadows underneath. Oh, that was the same one. No wonder I didn't need that one. That is the same one. He should be over here. I missed one in the middle, but that's okay. There we go. Little guy. And then I'm going to have him ending by sitting down over here at the end. Okay, so open, my last one. And then this one I need to kind of fix a little bit. There's a little bit of the others going around, so just play with it. And then I'm going to drag him over, and then he's going to be sitting down over here. All done. That was a lot of work. Whew. So hard for him. Okay, so the last thing, because I want this to be a little more believable, right? I need to go to my original layer. And I could do it on this layer, but what if I mess up? So I'm going to add a plus sign here. This plus is create a new layer, and layer 7, or you can double click and hit shadow layer, whatever you want to title it. This is going to be my shadow layer. So now I need to put shadows underneath to make him believable. And for that, we're going to use a new tool, which is the paintbrush tool. So this paintbrush tool right now is pretty dark, right? So I'm going to go up here to the little icon, and I'm going to make it a little bigger. You can see, you know, as you can see, you can check it out, what size it is. And then I'm going to soften it down. I want a really soft edge for my shadows. And then after I have it as big as I want, you know, because it fits kind of where his feet are, and all the way soft edge, I'm going to go and change the opacity down because I have a black, so a black shadow. I'm going to change the opacity down to like 10%, just so I can really build it in here. So you guys hopefully have taken some other art classes, drawing and painting. You kind of know this layer is below. That's why I went to my original layer. It's below all the other layers, so I can just place my shadows in underneath gently. That's why I have a really low opacity. So you're carefully click, 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 putting the shadows in to fit what's underneath. If your shadow, like if he was creating a shadow going all the way out this way, you know, that's what you would do. But he doesn't, but I just want to show you, like you very carefully place it in. You don't want to be heavy-handed. If you get too much, the reason I put this on its own layer is so I can go back and I can take this eraser and I don't have to worry about erasing my background. You can go back and no worries. Okay, so I'm just going to place it in very subtle shadowing, and you want a little darker right at the edge of the feet because that's where it's the most intense. Your shadow fades as the more light is placed on it, and right at the edge of the object is the most saturated. Okay, so sitting down over here, this little guy is taking a rest, and he's got a little shadow underneath him for sitting. And then I feel like that's pretty good. If I take this away, that doesn't look believable. He's just floating there, but now he's grounded. Now he looks like he's there for a reason. Okay, so basically now that this is done, you can do any filters or anything that you want. It's totally up to you. If you put one at the top filter, say I want this black and white, and then I could take this black and white filter and erase out, you know, my colors if I want, whatever you want to do. You don't have to leave it as the color or the surface, and then easy enough, don't like it, get rid of it. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. You could even take your background and blur your background out a little bit with your selection tool. Obviously, I would grab that whole thing. So select, feather, modify feather my edge. I want to do like a gradual feather 10. And then I would do select, or sorry, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And you can blur it out if you want. So when you're happy, you're done. And you can call it a day. And then file, save as, JPEG. And you can do movement or whatever you want to call it. Movement, Dave. So I'm going to call him Dave. So save, hit OK, and that's what you'll hand in. All right, guys, so this is the beginning and the end all the way through. If you need help, go back, go forward, come online and let me know. And I am always here for you. If you need me, come see me. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Let me go back to our thing, and I'm going to stop recording.